Hello there.
What's going on? Welcome back to the channel today, guys. It's your boy Ellie Moses, and wow, we have another episode of Flicks and Bricks today, guys. Sorry it took a while as I needed to buy more Lego sets, and Lego sets cost money, so yeah. We're up to the episode 9 now. We continue our journey with the Harry Potter series, with the Deathly Hallows Part 1, and today we are actually building one of the new Harry Potter 2021 sets, the Harry Potter Moments ones. We're building the Potions class, and I was actually skeptical about getting these because I just think they were pointless, and I'm just waiting for the summer ones to come out. So American summer, so mid-year for Australia in winter. Waiting for them to come out, and I'm waiting for sort of any new or big and exciting sets, sort of like the astronomy tower we had last year. And currently, I was like, oh, I don't have any room for these classroom ones, but then I was looking at them on the website, and they sort of connect to each other. I'm like, oh, it'd be cool to add classrooms to Hogwarts. So even though they're little moments ones, I have no room at the moment. The table is actually full. I was going to build Hagrid's huts for this video, but I think I'm saving that for the final episode, and I still have to get a hold of that. So I've purchased the potion set and the transfigurations one, but today we'll be doing the potion set because I think I'm saving the transfigurations one for maybe a live giveaway for the final episode. But yeah, let's get right into the review. And it's part of the build cut out today. As I was building it, my computer completely shut down, so it's gonna begin from just sort of, I guess, a quarter way through, so sorry about that. But let's get right into the review. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1. The Wizarding World is in complete disarray. We are at all-out war now. It's meant to be Harry, Hermione, and Ron's final year at Hogwarts. However, this is not the case, as due to not unforeseen circumstances, but due to the circumstances preventing them from going to Hogwarts. I mean, we have the complete sort of, I guess, fantastic tie-in from the first film where we begin at Privet Drive, and then this time we begin at Privet Drive as well. And I guess this is where I think, oh, it was just such a missed opportunity, because I was just watching a 6-minute deleted scene from the film, or sort of segment where at Privet Drive there was a few minutes, or I think a few minutes of scenes cut out between Harry interacting with Dudley and Harry interacting with Aunt Petunia, which I think were fantastic, and they're in the book as well from what I've heard. And I don't know why they left them out, because it's just the complete resolution of the characters. From we begin almost each and every Harry Potter film with these characters as well, with Aunt Petunia, Uncle Vernon, and Dudley, and we all know, I guess, them to be sort of these FLICKS and annoying wannabe uncle and aunties who think they're overprotective of Harry and don't let him do anything, and it's just the worst auntie and uncles you could ever dream of. And I guess this scene, or sort of segments, a few scenes that were cut out, I'm just like, why did you cut those out? And I remember reading a comment on the YouTube video saying, whoever cut these out should be sent to Azkaban. Damn right they should be sent, because they're absolutely perfect human character interactions, and dialogue is fantastic, where Harry says to Dudley, I think, you're right, Big D, and then and even Dudley saying to Harry, I don't think you'll ever waste the space. And it's just like, oh, come on, man. Like, it's just the perfect moment to say it, because we know Harry's at his lowest of lows at the moment. He has a lot going on in his head, where he's just like, he has to get all these Horcruxes. Dumbledore has just passed away. He can't go back to Hogwarts, because Hogwarts has been this sort of family-friendly environment, where even though we've had these sort of dark transitions and dark elements in the past films, there's always sort of been that element of hope and help, as Dumbledore says in the first, I think the second film, The Chamber of Secrets, where help will always be giving to those at Hogwarts for those who ask for it. And at that moment, since Dumbledore's gone, I guess it sort of drains all that hope that is at Hogwarts. So Harry, Ron, and Hermione cannot go back to Hogwarts in this film due to what happens. And this moment, Harry's sort of a fugitive. He is a very protective person, and he's sort of like the One Ring, I guess, where he cannot get into the wrong hands, otherwise it'd be doom for all. Because if Harry gets killed, then there's sort of no hope at all. So if that sort of One Ring, or Harry stays from the bad guy, which is Voldemort, then we have hope. We have hope. Us as the audience has hope. The characters around us has hope, and the world, the Wizarding World in general, has hope. So we have this fantastic sort of broom chase sequence at the beginning, where sort of everyone impersonates Harry, and all of the men them sort of show up. The men them, what the heck am I using? All of our favorite characters show up, sort of Kingsley, Mad Eye, Fleur Delacour, Bill Weasley, Harry, Ron, Hermione, Fred and George, Nymphadora, Lupin all show up to sort of help Harry escape in this sort of one escort mission. And then obviously, as we have this like fantastic interaction and comedy between characters as well, as I've reiterated before, that sort of one sprinkle of hope or that one glimmer of sort of happiness we get, or that one moment of sort of like, oh, relaxation, where just like have a happy moment in characters, it's always cut short in these films because the Wizarding World is in disarray. And the Death Eaters attack, and yep, the Death Eaters attack, and sort of everything's going on. And then obviously Hedwig gets his, I guess, comeuppance, and Hedwig dies, which is sad as well, because I always think back to that, when Hedwig dies, I always think back to that one scene in Philosopher's Stone where Hagrid's knocking on the door while Harry's in, I think he's in I can't remember. No! Ollivanders. I think he's in Ollivanders, and he knocks on the door. He's like, Harry, happy birthday! And then it's just a joyful scene, and then all that gone to waste in one scene. And we do find out later, as when Harry goes to the Burrow, that Mad Eye's died. And I think, I didn't like it as a throwaway line, as Bill said, just Mad Eye's dead. I'm just like, he's such a badass aura. And I'm currently reading Goblet of Fire, and his reputation that the book established is completely amazing. But yeah, obviously that happens, and then sort of as I said before, not one moment of happiness can flourish in these films as we get to the dark times. We have Bill's wedding that's cut short, my friends, cut short, and Harry and Ron and Hermione have to escape, obviously, because the Ministry is gone into complete disarray as well. And I like to reiterate, there's a fantastic scene at the start of the film where we have sort of the Last Supper with Voldemort and his followers, and it's absolutely fantastic. I love Voldemort's dialogue. He's like spoken like a true politician. It's just fantastic to watch on screen, and it's just, I don't think it humanizes the villain, where he is human in general. We know sort of a bit of his backstory and where he came from, sort of as Tom Riddle. But it's just a fantastic interaction, and it shows like he can be he can't be merciful, actually. I just love him interacting with his followers, and then sort of all of them just like trying to suck up to him, or sort of just not step out of line and say the right words. And that's why he says spoken like a true politician, because he's sort of trying to say the right things to please Voldemort. And obviously that menacing scene with Snape's friend, the teacher from Hogwarts, I can't remember her name, but her job was to think that wizards could mate with muggles, and sort of like muggle studies. And yeah, she gets clapped by Nagini. And I remember that scene always freaking me out, and Nagini sort of lurking in the background always freaking me out. But yeah, I think a lot of people may sort of think this film is very slow, and I can see where they would come from with that, because a lot of this film is just spent with our three main characters sort of just journeying, trying to find these Horcruxes, and there's a big lull in the middle where it's just slow paced character interactions and character moments. And with this lawnmower, please stop. Oh man, it's been going on for like the past 2 hours while I'm trying to record, so hopefully I can speak over it. But yeah, we have these sort of interactions as Ron, Hermione, and Harry sort of embark on this journey after their Ministry breakout, which is a fantastic scene as well. And I think Ron gets a bit too caught up in his character when they sort of use the apologist motion to sort of impersonate these characters. And I remember Ron just talking about, oh no, my wife, they've left me, and he hooks up with her as well. And it's just like, Harry's like, Ron, relax, you don't have a wife. And I guess that's sort of a funny scene as well. But obviously then we have Ron getting splinched as they try to apparate when Gaxley gets a hold of Hermione. And then we sort of, this is where our heroes, or sort of the journey sort of kickstart. And I guess it's the beginning of the end sort of with our characters, as the locket is similar to the One Ring as well, in terms of it destroys you emotionally, physically, and everyone around you. As Ron, even his character, the way his character looks, he's like, the makeup is fantastic, or sort of the bags under his eyes, he just looks miserable. He's not joyful anymore. There's no sort of hopefulness with him. He's not optimistic about anything. He's not sort of deliberating with Harry, sort of asking him, sort of like, isn't in the first two films Harry's always involved. He doesn't get involved anymore. He sort of stays behind the pack with Harry and Hermione, where he's always constantly listening to this radio. And I remember we have this like fantastic wide angle bird's eye shots of them journeying through the countryside, and sort of like Death Eaters roaming free, not roaming free, just sort of patrolling the area. And I think it's fantastic to show that Voldemort has now taken over the Wizarding world, and it's just sort of in the balance of these three characters that we all know and love. But as we sort of get the rift between Ron and Harry, and it's not just a similar argument as we get in the first sort of, I guess, sort of in the Goblet of Fire, where it's just sort of petty boy arguments, where it's just like, oh, you didn't put your name, I don't believe you. But this is just a real argument to the point where Ron actually ditches our main characters, and then now it's up to Harry and Hermione. And I actually love the slow burn throughout the middle of the film, where it's just like, all right, what knowledge have we learned at Hogwarts throughout the past 6 years that we can incorporate to this journey and sort of defeat Voldemort? That's what I love about it. I have to sort of collect all their knowledge and resources, what they have learned, and sort of unpack it and sort of put it into this. And obviously Hermione's the naturally more smart one, but Harry holds his own as well in terms of certain scenes as well. And then he's just like, Hermione, he has some, I guess, ideas that sort of don't go right as well. I mean, where he has like, he wants to revisit Godric's Hollow where his parents died, but I guess it's just sort of they're just trying to be, I guess, spontaneous, I guess, and sort of just think of the best things to try and find these Horcruxes as quick as they can. I mean, when Harry tries to destroy the locket, his anger as well, and all he's just sort of is just sort of all compacted and piled on this one locket, where he's just yelling out spells, stupefy, reducto, to the point where he's just not yelling out anymore. He's just going pa 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 pa, and he's just like yanking sparks out of his wand, and he's just all frustrated. And it's just like, we know the difficulty of destroying just one little locket, and they haven't even found the other Horcruxes yet. So the film does a fantastic job at establishing that. And there's a fantastic scene which I heard is not in the book at all, where Harry and Hermione dance together. I'm just like, yeah, that's one little hopeful scene. We got just a little bit of hopeful scene, a little bit of time to breathe and just stop thinking about what bad is coming. But as any usual two-parter in two-part finale to any film series, I guess, as well. I mean, I think dividing the final book into two films sort of works to the benefit for Harry Potter. I mean, other series have tried that, cough cough Hobbit, where they just tried to convert one book into 3 films, and that was meant to be 2 films, but midway through the second, convert it into 3. And the first one ended on a cliffhanger, and I remember it was a good cliffhanger as well with Smaug the Dragon. I was like, yeah. But then the third film, it just been like, you could have fit this into 2. Like, there was so many scenes dragged out, and so many elements from the book that were not in the film, just completely added for no reason. And I'm just like, yeah, why'd you do that? So I think Harry Potter works to the benefit, especially, I know there's a long time in the book of them spent camping, a long time. So I guess the film does a great job at portraying that as well. And I think the forest chase sequence is filmed excellent from David Yates as well, as we have a few like sort of nice tracking shots and following sort of wide angle shots of our characters running. I guess that's the film poster as well. And we finally, Ron's able to destroy the locket with the Sword of Gryffindor when Harry gets trapped one night. Obviously he sees the Patronus, and I'm just trying to think as well. We had that one emotional ending as well, man. And reading the books now, up to the Goblet, it hits more when Dobby dies, because he's actually plays more of a prominent role in the books, or he's there more, and especially with the Goblet of Fire, every time he sees Harry in the books, he's just always joyful to see Harry Potter, and I can just picture him from the films and put that while I'm reading the books in my mind into his reaction when he always sees Harry Potter, and just him dying at the end of this film just means so much more now, or just hurts so much more. It's just like, oh man, Dobby died, and it's just like all these favorite characters keep dying. We had Dumbledore and Mad-Eye Moody, and now Dobby, and then it's just the whole Wizarding world is in disarray at the moment. It's all up to these 3, and then obviously the film ends on its usual cliffhanger, because a current plot point throughout this film is Gregorovich's one shop, and Gregorovich, I think, is in Azkaban, and Voldemort goes to interrogate him, and obviously tells him that the Elder Wand is buried within, because Voldemort cannot use the his normal wand to kill Harry, because I think the core of their wands clash. They're brothers, and I think it's the Phoenix, so they clash, so they can do serious harm to one another, but they cannot kill each other. But yeah, that's my quick recap and review of the Deathly Hallows Part 1. This is a bit long one. Hopefully you enjoyed the build as well. I'll try and yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And if I was to give I think I'd give the Deathly Hallows the rank of Jedi Knight. Yeah, Jedi Knight. I don't think it's quite there to be Jedi Master, just to elevate it that bit more. It is a bit of a slow burner, but there are some fantastic scenes in it and fantastic character interactions. But yeah, there's not much action to it, but I think it still stands. I mean, the Harry Potter series, there's like not one film I can say is bad, and I enjoy all of them. And I think this film is just a fantastic setup to a climactic finale, which we'll get to in our next Flicks and Bricks episode. But otherwise, stay tuned for a big announcement soon, guys, in terms of hopefully I'm organizing this collab. There's a collab coming, and obviously I've got a special stream planned. So yeah, stay tuned for that. The next episode, Flicks and Bricks, and stay tuned for the usual weekly streams as well for the Wonder Round, the Wonder Up, the Wonder Vision Roundup each Friday night. So live streaming that. But yeah, stay tuned for that, guys. It's been your boy Ellie Moses, and as always, take care and peace.